Hey everyone, welcome to Singularity Hardware Order Analysis video 12. Now I have some interesting components to take a look at today. Most of this is water cooling components for Client Build 5, which is actually starting within the next few days. Starting from the left hand side, I have two Swiftech MCP655 water cooling pumps. Above that I have some extreme performance thermal interface material from Maingear. Moving across, I have two kits of the new Monsoon free center compression fittings. Below these I have three water blocks from EK. Moving across, I have two Bitspower 150mm reservoirs, and in front of that I have a Bitspower dual pump top for the MCP655 pumps. And moving across, I have a bunch of replacement O-rings for the two water cooling pumps that I use most often. I'll go into it shortly. I have some Antec cleaning gel for cleaning LCD screens, etc. Some double-sided tape, and over here I have a bunch of extension cables from Bitphoenix. They're the Bitphoenix Alchemy extension cables, and they're all in black. So now I'm going to bring you in for a closer look at all of these components. Okay, I'll start with the least interesting and work my way up. The Scotch 3M double-sided tape. This can come in handy for modding. You can use it for things such as attaching side panel windows. It might sound a bit dodgy, but this is very strong double-sided tape and it lasts. It's not something that I use a lot, but I just like to have it handy. The Antec cleaning products, I go through a lot of cleaning products because of my business, systems that come in for repairs, mainly laptops. People don't seem to clean them much. Okay, I have some barb fittings which always seem to get thrown in with my orders. I don't use barb fittings very often. Occasionally I will in a budget water cooling build, but yeah, mostly I use compression fittings. The Bitspower replacement O-rings for the MCP355 350 DDC. Also I have some here for the MCP655 D5, all of the rebadges. These are something that I like to have handy, not because it's something that wears out and needs to be replaced, but if I'm modding a pump, I'll replace the O-ring as a precaution. It's just nice to know that there's a nice new reliable O-ring in there when you put it back together. Alright, next up, the Bitphoenix Alchemy cables. So these are all black, and I have quite an assortment of cables here. These are mostly for Client Build 5, but they're also to go into stock. So I have some 2-pin cables here. And actually some of these 2-pin in particular are also for Singularity Beast 2, because you can see those front panel connectors just there. I would like to replace them with Bitphoenix Alchemy cables, because the sleeving on these cables is just excellent. It looks, the quality is excellent, it's soft. They've used heat shrink here, but on most of their cables they don't use any heat shrink. They just run the sleeving straight into the connectors. I've actually talked a lot about these cables in other videos. So I have some Molex to SATA power, audio extension cables, I've got USB, I have 8-pin EPS, 6-pin PCIe. I actually just got the cables that I don't already have stock of. Alright, the Maingear Epic T1000. Now this looks quite similar to the Indigo Extreme kits, and for those of you who don't know, this is a different way of applying thermal interface material, and it's a more high performance solution because it's a thermal interface material that can reflow. And what that means is that once you've applied this, you actually have to run the CPU at a certain temperature, and quite a hot temperature, and it gets to the point where it actually basically melts this material, and this material is able to flow and change shape and flow into the impurities in the surface of your CPU. and you know, the bumps and grooves and whatever, you know, they're microscopic, but in doing that it can cover all of the surface area of the, you know, the top of your CPU and better cool, yeah, the CPU. Advanced phase change thermal alloy for immediate maximum thermal performance. It also says here, warning for the extreme do-it-yourself user only. This product requires extensive knowledge and comprehension of CPU cooling and temperature monitoring. That's because of the reflow process. You have to heat your CPU up to a certain point, not to the point obviously where it's going to damage your CPU, but just to the point where it can reflow the EPYC T1000. So you can see there, this can give you up to, hang on, what does that say? Well, I'll just say 3 to 5 degrees better performance. And this one is for Socket 2011 CPUs. I'm actually going to do a separate video where I apply this to a CPU and yeah, do a bit of a guide. I'm probably going to be using it for Singularity Beast 2. Alright, the two BitsPower 150mm reservoirs. I'm not going to pull these out of the box because I actually have one of these right here in Singularity Beast 2. I use these quite often. I like them a lot. They have a neutral aesthetic. They're, you know, high quality. They work really well. I used one in actually my previous primary build. I used two because I had dual loops. One of these is for Client Build 5 and the other one is to go into stock. I also used one in Client Build 4 and I used another one in Client Build 3 in the Singularity Beast Resurrection build. Okay, the Swiftech MCP655s and the BitsPower Dual D5 Mod Top Extreme. So I don't need to pull these out of the box and show you these either because I have this exact configuration running right here in Singularity Beast 2. So what I'm going to be doing, these pumps both screw straight onto this pump top, but I'm not going to be screwing the pumps straight on. I'm going to be putting a mod kit, a BitsPower mod kit on the pumps first, which I don't have here today, and then yeah, screwing them onto the back of this pump top. So this is exactly the same pump top right here, and these are exactly the same pumps, but here again I've used the BitsPower mod kit. So this is the exact configuration that I'm going to be using, yeah, these pumps and this pump top for, and this is all for Client Build 5. Just a quick look at the specifications. So the main ones are maximum pressure 50 psi, maximum head 3.1 meters, and maximum discharge is 1200 liters per hour. Also, just one more thing, this is the tachometer version. So it comes with a 3-pin connector that you can plug into a fan header on your motherboard to read off the RPM of the pump. There's also another version with a speed control, a 5-step speed control. Okay, the EK water blocks. So I have here a water block for the Asus Rampage 4 Extreme, and also 2 water blocks for Corsair Dominator memory. These are all the nickel plexi versions, and it's the EN nickel plating, as you can see. Now, some of you might remember this exact set of water blocks recently, and that's because I got them for Singularity Beast 2. I still haven't installed those water blocks. As you can see, I will be coming up in the next Singularity Beast 2 build log video. But these water blocks are actually for Client Build 5. Next up, the Monsoon free center compression fittings. These were released just recently, and there's actually a whole lot of different colors, but I have here the black chrome version, and I have 2 sets of fittings. So each set has 6 compression fittings, and it looks like you get a spare O-ring with each one. And you also get the tool for tightening the compression fittings. So this tool is for both tightening the compression fittings into the, you know, the pump or radiator or water block, and it's also for tightening the compression, the outside of the compression fitting itself onto the tubing once you've pushed the tubing onto the fitting. So I'm going to do a separate video on these fittings coming up soon, and I'll show you exactly how they work. I'm also going to be using these in a build coming up. Finally, I have something that I didn't actually show in the introduction to this video. I have some AC Ryan mesh for modding, and I also have some clear acrylic for modding, because I am planning on doing some modding projects coming up. Some of you might have seen my recent subscriber video where I gave you a tour of Singularity Computers and showed you the new Dremel that I've recently purchased for the channel. Modding is something that I'm going to be doing coming up, because it's something that I haven't done for a while. I've been missing it, but I just haven't had enough time to do it. I also have some carbon fiber vinyl here as well, and there's a fair bit of it here too. That sums up this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and favorite if you want to see more.